Good morning, Bitcoin. And here's what's happening today in Bitcoin. Breaking news, CoinDash's token sale ICO website has been hacked. All they really did was change the public address that you send your Ethereum to. So instead of sending your Ethereum to the CoinDash token sale, you were sending your Ethereum to a hacker. This is a simple and easy change that the hackers made to their public website. CoinDash should have taken more care in protecting their public address. We'll see this again. VIA BTC will list big blockers Bitcoin ABC for Bitcoin split. This is a pretty confusing story. I don't know if you guys remember, but during the scaling drama, we talked about Bitmain's response to the UASF. I think they called it a UAHF. Other people were calling it an MAHF. But anyway, it looks like Bitcoin ABC is the new Bitcoin Unlimited. It's the new MAHF. It's basically a response for what will happen if the UAS, this is so confusing, the BIP 148 activates and we have the SegWit only chain and the other chain. This gives us the potential now for potentially 3, maybe 4 Bitcoin. Things are getting very complicated. Meanwhile, Ethereum briefly crashes 20% to a 7-week low amid worries about rival Bitcoin's future. It turns out that maybe the Bitcoin maximalists are right. The Ethereum price is tightly linked to the Bitcoin price, as Bitcoin is the on-ramp and off-ramp for getting in and out of altcoins. This continues to be true. Mainstream media continues their series of freaking out over Bitcoin price. Fortune magazine, wipeout, Bitcoin and other digital currencies in price collapse. That's much worse than a crash. That's a collapse. And we've got a story from Cointelegraph of a whites-only Bitcoin-like currency appearing in South Africa. Basically, it's a local currency for the place of Oriania, the Oria, and they've already had a normal cash-type currency, and they're just going to convert it into a cryptocurrency. They do seem to be very racist, and they are a bastion of apartheid, which, as all you remember from the 1990s and the Lethal Weapon films, was an anti-African-American social movement that was started in South Africa. Very strange part of our history. And as you can see, the aura is going e-aura. No news as to how they're going to stop non-white people from using their cryptocurrency. Good luck with that. And the price of Bitcoin is up 8.55% to a last of 2062, a high of 2065, and a low of 1876. We have a very special guest on today's show. We're joined by Jimmy Song to give us an update on the Bitcoin scaling situation. How's it going, Jimmy?
It's going great. Thanks for having me. So it turns out that BIP91 has started signaling in the last 24 hours. Several miners, including Ampool, BCT.com, and several others have started signaling Bit4. I just wanted to give an update on how that affects the timeline. So the last difficulty period started on July 14th with block 475776. And the way that BIP91 works is that it divides every 2016 blocks of difficulty adjustment period into 6 equal smaller sets where BIP91 can lock in. The 336 blocks that started with 475776 on July 14th will not end with 80%. So don't worry too much about the signaling from here till about tomorrow or the next day. 476448 is the beginning of the next 336 block period where BIP91 can lock in. And that starts in a couple of days. If that period ends with 80%, then we will start orphaning blocks that aren't signaling for SegWit. So that's going to, maybe get BIP91 locked in a little bit quicker, but that doesn't change anything really, because BIP 141, which is SegWit, will not have enough during this difficulty period to lock in, and that's most likely that will start locking in with the start of the next one, which is going to happen around July 27th or so, block 478128. So don't worry too much about the timeline changing. Everything will probably start going with 478128. The only real risk here is that if BIP91 doesn't lock in by August 1st, then we might have a split with BIP148. Generally, it looks like something like 18% of the last day's blocks are signaling for BIP91. CoinDance updated their website in the last hour to show the statistics on that. You can take a look at it on their website. But yeah, it looks like the timeline doesn't change very much just because the miners are signaling early. Should be a very crazy and interesting week as more miners start signaling.
So just to getting activated, and that it would activate before the August 1st deadline, so we would have a SegWit chain, meaning that the UASF would do nothing. So we're on course for that, right?
Yeah, it looks like BIP90, well, I mean, depending on if it gets 80%, but it does look like they are front-running BIP148 with BIP91, and if that does happen, then the user-activated soft fork does nothing. That's it.
And then we'll just have to wait for sometime in November or December for the potential 2x hard fork. We're also joined by Tone Vays with a check of the markets. How's it going, Tone?
Hey guys, everything is going great. All right, let's take a look at the markets. Let's do a very quick recap. The weekly chart indicated that there is a bearish trade to go short Bitcoin as of Monday, July 10th. The daily chart here on the right indicated a potential short play on Bitcoin at the very low of August 8th, with a second chance to go low on August 10th at around 2450 on Bitfinex, 2450, 2460 on Bitfinex. Now, this short play had all of this support, with the most critical support being in the 1950 area, which is why on July 15th, I sent out the following picture in a tweet indicating that the short play on the long-term scale is still playing out, but all of a sudden, we had a potential take your profit from the daily short trade, a perfection buy point, and a reversal at the 1950 mark as of 2 days ago, okay, at the low. So here's the timeline of what we're dealing with, and I still have an August 11th date circled that I have an article on my website, Liberty Life Trail, and I will talk more about that going forward. Let's take a look at the live charts. We are now on a brand new week as of today, and we're still in a downtrend. So on the weekly scale, there is a potential of 6 more weeks of downside. But on the daily side, this is a tradable bounce from the 950. I almost called it perfectly in that the following day, there was this long wick, which is what I was hoping to happen on July 15th. The long wick happened on July 16th, and today we are having a pretty good day. This actually goes in line. The price started to completely collapse when the incompetence of the SegWit2x developers was shown into light. Now that they've managed to meet their first deadline of BIP91 signaling, it seems to have calmed the markets a little bit. This is still a very volatile situation. I am still looking for a 1 to 4 day bounce into 22 to 2300, and then either the incompetence of SegWit2x will continue to show, causing a huge down leg in the price, or they manage to get SegWit before the August 1st deadline, in which case a market could have some more stability and a little more upside. On that note, I'll give it back to you, Thomas.
Thanks, Tone, for that report. Today was Monday, July 17th, 2017. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps more people find this show. And that's what happened today in Bitcoin. In a crowd of people, you're still alone. And I hope that tells you something. The road to heaven is paved in hell. And it makes you wonder why you're here at all. Check out the shape of your circumstance. He wears the dress and she wears the pants. here comes Jill and she needs romance, but you can't do Jack, so